80 million years ago, New Zealand separated from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana and slowly drifted into the Pacific Ocean. That isolation is the starting point for everything unusual about its wildlife. Because once a landmass becomes isolated for millions of years, the rules that normally shape animal life begin to change. So the question here is, why did New Zealand develop so many unusual birds, including species that cannot fly? And why did birds, instead of mammals, come to dominate its ecosystems? To answer that, we need to look at what was missing. In most parts of the world, land mammals define ecosystems. Deer shape forests by grazing. Rodents control seeds and plants. Cats, wolves, and similar predators regulate animal populations. But in New Zealand, that system never fully formed. Before human arrival, the only native land mammals were a few species of bats. So a major ecological layer simply did not exist. That leads to another key question. What happens when an entire category of animals is missing for millions of years? The answer is ecological replacement. Other groups expand into those empty roles. And in New Zealand, that group was birds. Over long periods of natural development, birds began occupying roles that mammals fill elsewhere. Some became large herbivores. Some became ground foragers. Some became predators. And in doing so, they followed a very different biological path compared to the rest of the world. The most striking example is the moa. Moa were giant flightless birds found only in New Zealand. At least 9 species existed, with the largest reaching over 3 meters in height and weighing more than 200 kilograms. At this point, another question appears naturally. Why would a bird lose flight, one of the most important survival abilities in nature? The answer is linked to pressure and energy. Flight requires a highly specialized body, hollow bones, large chest muscles, and constant high energy use. It is extremely costly to maintain. In environments where ground predators are limited for long periods, that cost becomes less necessary. Over long periods of natural development, some species gradually shifted away from flight and toward a ground-based lifestyle. Moa became large browsing herbivores, feeding on vegetation across forests and open landscapes. Their size helped them access food sources that smaller animals could not reach. Their role was so significant that entire plant communities were shaped around large browsing pressure. Another example is the Takahe. The Takahe belongs to the rail family, a group known globally for repeatedly developing flightlessness on islands. For decades, it was believed to be extinct. Then in 1948, a team led by Jeffrey Orbell rediscovered a living population in the Murchison Mountains. That discovery changed conservation history in New Zealand. Biologically, the Takahe shows the same pattern seen across many island bird species: reduced wings, heavier bodies, and stronger legs adapted for ground movement. This pattern appears again in the kiwi. The kiwi is one of the most distinctive birds in the world. Its feathers resemble hair. Its wings are extremely small. Its bones contain marrow rather than being fully hollow. And it has one unusual adaptation. Its nostrils are located at the tip of its beak, allowing it to detect insects underground using smell rather than sight. Now you might be asking, why would a bird rely so heavily on smell, something uncommon among birds? Because in New Zealand's forest floor environment, ground foraging became just as important as flight once was elsewhere. New Zealand contained a rare system: large, flightless herbivores on one side and a giant bird predator on the other, like the Haast's eagle, which was one of the largest eagles ever discovered, with females estimated at up to 15 kilograms. A full ecological structure built almost entirely around birds. For thousands of years, this system remained stable. Then the conditions changed. Human arrival introduced hunting pressure and later introduced mammals such as rats, cats, stoats, and possums. That leads to a crucial question. Why did these changes have such a strong impact on New Zealand's birds? Because many species had developed without exposure to fast-moving mammalian predators. Ground nesting, low defensive behavior, and limited fear responses were once effective survival strategies. But mammalian predators operate differently from birds of prey. They track scent, they search burrows, they hunt continuously on the ground. And that created a mismatch between ancient biological development and a rapidly changing environment. Within a relatively short period, moa disappeared completely, and many other native species declined sharply. Today, New Zealand responds to this with one of the most intensive conservation systems in the world, including predator control programs, fenced sanctuaries, and nationwide restoration projects. The long-term effort is known as Predator-Free 2050, aimed at removing major invasive mammalian predators entirely. So when we return to the original question, why New Zealand developed so many unusual birds, the answer is not random. It comes down to three connected factors: isolation over millions of years, absence of land mammals, and long periods of stable ecological conditions. Those conditions allowed birds to expand into roles normally filled by mammals elsewhere, shaping one of the most unique biological systems on Earth. And that is why New Zealand's wildlife still looks so different today. Not because it followed a typical global pattern, but because for millions of years, it followed a separate one entirely.
If you enjoy content like this, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who would enjoy it too.